Matt's on the line. That's good. At this time, we're going on May 14, 2024, 6:30. We're going to call out Middleton License Orders Committee meeting to order. Any comments from any citizens that's present? I don't see any hands raised, so I'll put that as a no and let us move forward. Can I get an approval of the minutes for the April 9th, 2024 meeting? April 9th, 2024 meeting. Can I get an approval?
You might be the only one who was at that meeting.
Exactly. I'm starting to think, yeah, I think I was the only one at that meeting. Okay. I'll approve the minutes for the April 9th, 2024 meeting. Can I get a second? Guess I'm at the second and two, right? I was the only one at the meeting.
I think somebody can second, yeah, but I think we'll have to have them deemed approved.
Can I get a second for that? Say it again.
I said we can get a second, but I think ultimately, well, I mean, I suppose another member can vote based upon your representation that they are accurate. We need some method to approve the minutes. So another member wants to second and accept your representation, we can approve them that way.
So anybody willing to second the approval of the April 9th minutes?
I'll second.
All righty. I got a second from Alder Madden. All in favor of approval for the April 9th, 2024 meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Now moving on to license and permits. The first license is an application for an outdoor amplified sound permit by Tracy Krasowski for Kiva Sports, 8312 for Side Street, Middleton, for band sound system, DJ speeches, and announcements. May to October from 4 p.m. to 11:45 p.m. Any concerns about this, Tyler?
No, I think this is a recurring one. Laura, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're regular event over there, and we've had very few issues and no noise complaints for them.
Okay.
Correct. Yep, it's just their annual.
It's their annual? Okay. Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the application for outdoor amplified sound permit? Kim, I know this is your first time. I guess we got the floor.
Yeah, I know. Making motions is not yet my strong point, but I'll make a motion to approve.
All righty, Kim. Thank you. Well, since it's just us two, this is Jackson, our second. All in favor say aye for the application for an outdoor amplified sound permit by Tracy Krasowski for Kiva Sports. Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Second, application for special event permit by Jocelyn Sansing is a contact person for Middleton Public Library mini Renaissance Fair on September 28th, 2024 at the Lakeview Park.
Yes. So this is a first time event for the library, just a kind of a community engagement one, and no concerns. The only kind of interesting element, I guess I'll say, is that they are looking to have a blacksmith forge at the event, and just because of that, Jocelyn is aware that the fire department does need to be notified, and just make sure that all the safety precautions are met that might go along with that. And I know there was a few questions that Parks, Kylie was working out with Jocelyn, but other than that, I don't think I have anything more to share unless Jocelyn, you have anything you want to add?
No, not in particular, but this is going to be a really fun, somewhat cross-departmental event for the city. Everything, of course, will be free and open to the public. And we have I believe I did include the site plan for the event as well. Even though it was a crude drawing, please let me know if you have any questions.
Tyler, any concerns?
No, this looks like a fun event. The only issue is, Laura mentioned, being that the forge there, but I trust the fire department will take care of all the safety precautions there, so no issues from the police department side.
And Jocelyn, have we begun the procedure of reaching out to the fire department?
I have not reached out to them directly, but Laura did provide the Hot Works ordinance for us, which we looks like this is in compliance with. So if this is approved, then I would be happy to follow up with them and connect any dots.
All righty, thank you. All in favor for approving the application for a special event permit by Jocelyn Sansing, contact person for the Middleton Public Library for the mini Renaissance Fair on September 28th at Lakeview Park. Can I get a approval for this application?
Do you need me to make a motion?
Hey, yes, Kim. It's just us.
Yep. I move to approve the application for special event permit for the Middleton Public Library Mini Renaissance Fair, September 28th, 2024 at Lakeview Park.
All righty, this is Jackson. I'll second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. May run smooth. Go ahead.
Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. This is Todd Collish. Sorry, I'm having trouble logging on to the meeting, but I called in. I'm the 231 phone number that you see.
Okay, Todd.
Welcome, Todd. I'll go ahead and throw your name on the screen so everybody can see it's you.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I can't. I'm at a work meeting. I'm at a hotel, and I can't log on to the Zoom for some reason. But I'm participating via phone.
Thank you, Todd. Next on the agenda, we have an application for a special event permit by Nick Familiario, contact person for Middleton Pride 2024 on June 8th, 2024 at Stone Horse Green.
If I can just interject for a moment, Alder Jackson, if we probably want to address items 3 and 4 together, if you're good with that, since they're connected.
Oh, okay. Great. So items 3 and 4, the special event permit by Nick Familiario for the contact person for Middleton Pride 2024 on June 8, 2024 at Stonehorse Green, connected with the application for an outdoor amplified sound system by Nick Familiario for band sound system, DJ, and announcement at Stonehorse Green, 7550 Herbert Avenue, from 12 to 4, June 8th, 2024 for Middleton Pride 2024. Any questions or concerns?
No, this is a first-time event that is being, and Jen Cole is one of the people that are looking to plan this, and she was hoping to make the meeting, but she thought it was at 5:30, so she wasn't able to make the 6:30. But I can answer any questions you might have. It has been looked over by Tyler and Public Works, and Parks is aware of it. Again, we're hoping to have it be a little bit cross the CDA as a sponsor, so we are hoping to have more involvement from other city departments. The only thing I wanted to note with this one is they are having an issue getting their certificate of insurance. I know, Matt, I reached out to you regarding this, and I didn't know if that is something, there's a specific part on the insurance that they're not getting coverage for. And I didn't know if that's something that L&O needs to waive or how we go about that.
Yeah, I guess, to move this along, let's see, our ordinance references some specific coverage for, let me find the language. Yeah, for explosion, collapse, and underground coverage.
Yep.
I suspect when we first drafted this ordinance that we took a comprehensive list of things that good insurance policies should have, and put it in there, and that probably came from construction related lists, because this particular line of coverage typically deals with dangers that surround like construction activities where you have excavation stuff, hitting pipelines and or destabilizing underground things and so forth. So L&O does have the power to consider waivers of coverage in the event you feel that it's not necessary for what's required here. I don't have any problem with waiver of that type of coverage. Now, I said it seems to be a little confusion, because as my understanding, that is actually a general part of the commercial general liability policy, but I don't think we're going to resolve that here tonight. And if the motion to grant approval could include also waiver of the explosion, collapse, and underground coverage, I don't see that as creating any issue for the city, and would recommend granting that waiver.
Great.
And we'll also look to see whether there, maybe that's something that needs to be removed from the ordinance, because I can't imagine many of our special events really need that kind of coverage, but that's, obviously going to take a little bit longer than maybe necessary for approval of this event.
Right. Well, thank you. And I don't know if it has something to do with the fact that this is not just one organization trying to plan this event, which is why that field was not completed on the organization name. It's more of a group of community members, and I don't know if that's why they're running into issues. But regardless, thank you for waiving that, because I don't think it would be required for this event. But other than that, no concerns on my end.
Okay. My only question is, Tyler, is there any concerns concerning, because I know parking this is downtown, is parking is limited and traffic. Do we have any concerns about that? Do we know the turnout of this event?
What they're looking to do, as far as expected turnout, I forget what the number was, Laura. It wasn't particularly high, being that this is an inaugural event.
I think they were expecting 250. It's very hard to know, because it is, first time, like you said. But I mean, it is running from like noon to 4, so it's going to be more of a flow. It's not like they're expecting to have all these people show up at once, and they are still kind of determining and confirming all of their programming. So people might come at certain times based on, who might be performing or what's being offered at that specific time.
And the request is just to close the street, that L shape around Stonehorse Green that we've carved out before. We have started closing for other events using the traffic bollards that the city purchased. So no, from the police department side, closing that down for a few hours has become somewhat routine, or is intended to be at this point. So no, I don't have concerns.
Okay. So if I could get a motion to approve application for a special event permit with Nick Falamero for the Middleton Pride 2024 on June 8th. Also, items 3 and 4 together for an outdoor amplified sound system. Sound system DJ announcement at Stonehorse Green, 7550 Hubbard Avenue from 12 to 4 on June 8th. Waiving the insurance that's in pending right now.
Specifically we're not waiving all the insurance, just the explosion, collapse, and underground coverage.
Waiving just the explosion, collapse,
and underground coverage, correct.
Heard.
I'll make the motion. Do you need me to repeat it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
All right. This is bad, and I will approve. I'll make a motion to approve the special event permit for special event and outdoor amplified sound system, both by Nick Fumilaro for band, sound system, DJ, and announcements at Stonehorse Green for Middleton Pride 2024 on June 8th. including a waiver of coverage for explosion, collapse, and underground.
This is Jackson. I'll second. All right, moving to.
I do think we need to vote on that quick, Alder Jackson.
Oh, all in favor, say aye.
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 Items 5 and 6, Tyler, are they just the same individual?
Yep, those two can be addressed together.
Okay. Moving on to agendas, items 5 and 6. Application for special event permit by Spencer Real Estate Group. Faith Flynn is the contact person for Music in the Hills on June 20th, July 11th, and August 15th, 2024 at the corner of 6712 Frank Lloyd Wright and 3109 Pheasant Branch Road. Application for an outdoor amplified sound permit by Spencer Schumacher for Spencer Real Estate Group at the corner of 6712 Frank Lloyd Wright Avenue and 3109 Pheasant Branch Road for a band on 6/13/24, 7/11/24, and 8/8/24 from 5:30 to 8:30. So if I'm correct, these are 3 different days and 2 different locations?
3 different dates, all at the same location, just on that corner of where those 2 streets meet.
Okay.
And so this is somewhat unique. And again, Faith was hoping to make the call tonight, but she couldn't. And I think where they're at, they just want to present it to the committee and get any feedback of what they might want to see. Their plan is to come to the June L&O committee again to just get final approval, because there are just a few items that are not quite nailed down yet. I believe they've done this event in the past. It's just they're trying to make it a little bit bigger with having selling food and hopefully drink outside on that patio of Prairie Cafe.
Okay.
And the way it stands right now, if any of the neighboring businesses want to have a food stand, they will need to get a mobile food establishment permit. And as it stands right now, I don't know if you were able to look at the map to kind of see, but Craftsman is right now on board with doing that. Pasquale's and Miggy's is still to be determined. And Prairie Cafe does hold a full liquor license, so they would be able to sell outside on their patio. They don't currently, but they would be able to. Ideally, they wanted the other businesses to be able to sell alcohol out there, and we've realized that that's not feasible or an option. So those are kind of the still moving pieces that haven't quite been nailed down as to how they're going to go about that. But I guess if there's anything else that you'd for sure like to see in order to approve this next month, that's kind of what I'm bringing forward right now.
So Matt, just a quick question.
Yep.
Do we approve all these dates since on the 11th it looks like there's going to be a change? Do we approve it as is for the permit, or can we approve all these dates? I think she said they're coming back in June for some changes.
Yeah. So to be clear, so the application as it is, Laura, that they may be coming back to change to have.
Well, I guess I'm not sure. Right now, they are not 100% sure on who is going to be selling food, and they're not 100% sure on whether they're selling alcohol. And if Prairie Cafe wants to go outside of their set, I think they've been approved for like a 420 square foot sidewalk cafe patio. If they
Okay.
want to go outside of that, they would need to bring forth an expanded premise, is the way I understand it. And they haven't made those final decisions yet. So I guess they wanted to just maybe get a conceptual approval, or approval maybe contingent on a finalized list of their food vendors and, you know, whether alcohol is going to be sold or not.
Well, that was it. Yeah. So, I mean, if they, yeah, because I mean, I remember sort of the event and I saw what was happening here, but it wasn't clear to me whether, you know, they're not going to go forward with this if they don't have the certain food or alcohol in place, or is there, with the special event permit as it is there an event there to be had even if they don't get these other approvals?
I think they would still be able to move forward. Let me just double check. The alcohol, I think they did, yes. So I think if you were able to approve the permit application as is right now, they'd still be able to serve alcohol as long as it was contained just to Prairie Cafe's patio, and they were the only vendor that was selling and serving. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know exactly where Prairie Cafe's premises goes to, but yeah, if they're allowed to serve on their patio right now, then yeah, just approval of the special event would really just cover the having the live music and then people being out in that common area. But yeah, the approval that doesn't approve alcohol anyplace else, they could always come back with applications for expanded premises or, you know, whatever tweaks they might need for other events. But yeah, otherwise, as long as it fits with their plans, I don't see anything wrong with approving these special event permits for all the dates as is. And again, if they want to come back and have any modifications based upon expanded premises or any other types of approvals, that they can certainly come back and do that.
Okay.
Because see, my only concern was agenda number 5 has June 20th, July 11th, and August 15th. Number 6 has the 13th, the 11th, and the 8th. Are these 6 different days, or?
So I'm not sure with the amplified sound. I think
Oh, well.
they did change the dates on some of these. So it is definitely June 20th, and it is July 11th, and it is August 15th. So they did push back both the June and the August dates, and I apologize from when that happened. I think from when they submitted the application, but I believe the applications that went along with should have the right dates.
You said June 20th, July 11th, August 15th?
Correct.
So when you go down to the amplified sound, what about the 13th, 11th, and the 8th?
And I don't know if it.
I'm just trying to get
it might just be a typo on the agenda.
Found on a different day.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the actual permit. It has the 3 dates that Laura mentioned, but it says that for the name of the event, but they filled in the date of the event as June 13th. So I'm not sure if that's an old one. It sounds like we might just have to have them clean up or clarify, because even in their own permit, they're not exact here.
Matt, chime in.
Well, I mean, you know, unless we have concern, you know, real concerns about any of these specific dates, I guess what I would suggest is an approval effective upon staff confirming with the applicant the correct dates to line up the amplified sound with the special event correct dates. I mean, but if you have particular concerns, you know, the 13th being a greater concern than the 20th or something, that maybe then that becomes a little more difficult for us to deal with right now. But you know, if one of those dates is just as good as the other, I think you can approve, subject to staff working with the applicant to make sure that that each of the special event dates and the amplified sound dates line up with one another correctly.
Yeah, and I'm happy to do that. The way it was left, it is June 20th, July 11th, and August 15th. The reason why it did move back and forth a bit was just because they are firming up their music entertainment. And I think that's why they were adjusted. But I'll confirm that again before we would issue and make sure that the permit does reflect the exact dates that it would be issued for.
Okay, can I get a motion for approval on items on the agenda 5 and 6, application for a special event permit by Spencer Real Estate Group, Faith Flynn, contact person for Music on the Hills. We're going, well, I think June 20th, the 11th, and August the 15th at the corner of 6712 Frank Lloyd Wright and 3109 Pheasant Branch Road. Also, application for an outdoor amplified sound permit by Spencer Schumacher for Spencer Real Estate Group at the corner of 6712 Frank Lloyd Wright Avenue and 3109 Pheasant Branch Road for a ban on, I'm believing June 20th, June 11th, August 15th, 2024, with the applicant getting back in touch with us concerning the correct dates.
I'll move to approve the application for special event permit by Spencer Real Estate Group, contact person Faith Hill, and the application for outdoor amplified sound permit by the same group at 6712 Frank Lloyd Wright Avenue and 3109 Pheasant Branch on the dates of 6/20, 7/11, and 8/15, subject to staff confirming with the applicant that those dates are in fact correct.
Can I get a second?
Carlos, a second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It is so approved. Agenda items 7 and 8, I believe we can combine together. Am I correct?
Yep.
Okay. Application for a special event permit by Gilders Club Madison, Taylor Ritondo, contact person for the Gilders Run Walk on October 6, 2024 at Gilders Club Madison. Application for an outdoor amplified sound permit by Taylor Ritondo for Gilders Club Madison, 7907 UW Health Court, Middleton, for sound system speeches announcements from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. October 6, 2024 for the 2024 Gilders Run Walk. Any comments, questions, or concerns?
I'll just note that this is an annual fundraiser event. It's been happening for, I don't even know how many years, but 14. And it has been reviewed by Public Works and Parks, since there is a portion that will go on the trail, and no concerns or issues.
Tyler, any concerns?
No, they've requested a couple of officers to help with traffic control, the closure of UW Health Court, and also one of the intersections on Deming Way. We've assisted them with that for the past several years, in addition to the no parking order. So we don't have any concerns with the event.
Okay. Can I get approval for items agenda 7 and 8 for the application special event permit by Gilders Club and an application for outdoor amplified sound permit by Taylor Ritondo for Gilders Club?
Mrs. Madden, I'll move to approve application for special event permit by Gilders Club Madison, Taylor Ritondo for both special event and outdoor amplified sound at 7907 UW Health Court, Middleton, sound system speeches and announcements from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. October 6th, 2024 for the Gilders Run Walk, which is an amazing event.
Yes, it definitely is. Can I get a second?
Carlos, second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Items 9 and 10, I believe, Tyler, can we combine also?
Yes, I believe that's right. Correct, Laura?
Yes.
Application for a special event permit by Authorized Foundation of Wisconsin. Sarah Peterson is a contact person for Jingle in July, on July 21st, 2024 at Capitol Brewery. Application for an outdoor amplified sound permit by Sarah Peterson for sound system DJ speeches at Capitol Brewery, 7734 Terrace Avenue, Middleton, from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on July 21st.
So this is first time they're presenting it as Jingle in July, but it's actually been an annual event that they have done in September called the Oktoberfest Ride. Similar event plans are extremely similar. A lot of the routes are exactly the same too, with the exception they have presented a new route for their 5K run, but there is essentially a 5K run, a 5K bike, a 25K bike, and a 50K bike, and a 100K bike. And those routes have been reviewed by Public Works and Parks. There's a few, we're going back and forth with the organizers right now just to make sure we're on the same page as far as like some of the volunteer spots and just making sure that they're routing people as best as possible. But other than that, I don't really have anything unless you do, Tyler.
No, they worked with us very well and took us some suggestions. They were initially going to cross University Avenue with the 5K, which is some unnecessary traffic issues that would cause, but they amended that per some suggestions that we gave them. They're staying out of traffic when at all possible, and kind of doing their crossings in places to minimize the need for volunteers or police. So given the size of the event, no concerns on our end.
Can I get a motion to approve items 9 and 10 on the agenda? Application for a special event permit by Authorized Foundation of Wisconsin. Sarah Peterson is the contact person for Jingle in July, on July 21st, 2024 at Capitol Brewery. An application for an outdoor amplified sound permit by Sarah Peterson for sound system DJ speeches at Capitol Brewery, 7734 Terrace Avenue, Middleton, from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on July 21st. Motion to approve.
This is Madden. I'll make a motion to approve application for special event permit by the Arthritis Foundation of Wisconsin, Jingle in July. Sarah Peterson, contact person, July 21st, 2024 at Capitol Brewery, as well as the outdoor amplified sound permit for sound system DJ speeches at the brewery, 7734 Terrace Avenue, from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the 21st of July.
Thank you, Alder Madden. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Alder Callis, thank you for the second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Items 9 and 10 on the agenda has been approved. Item number 11 on the agenda, review of application to amend the premise for Madison Marriott, 1313 John Q. Hammonds Drive by Cindy Bobbitt, Corporate Director. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
So this was a little carve-out permit where the Marriott is requesting just to be able to serve from a small stand behind their main desk. And I believe partner maybe with the Marriott. They did tell me that someone was going to attend.
Yes, I'm the general manager representing the Marriott. Cindy's in our legal department at corporate.
Okay, and Tyler, you say this is to serve behind the where?
So they already have, it's already a licensed premise, and they do have a full bar in their main floor. But in addition to that area that we've carved out as their licensed premise, they also want to sell, I believe, some small bottles or something. Martin can probably elaborate, but behind their front desk and have a small retail store shop there in addition to the bar already on the premise.
That's right. We've got a kind of just a very small retail shop. It's located just kind of off of the front desk, and the intention is to sell, bottled beer, wine, and cocktails in cans, all prepackaged out of a cooler.
Okay, is this all, Martin? This all will be consumed on you guys' premises?
Yes.
All right. Can I get an emotion to approve the review of applications to amend the premise for Madison Marriott, 1313 John Q. Hammonds Drive by Cindy Bobbitt, Corporate Director?
Mrs. Baden, I will move to approve the application to amend the premise for the Madison Marriott, 1313 John Q. Hammonds Drive by Cindy Bobbitt, Corporate Director.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Aldous. Appreciate you guys today. Item 12 on the agenda, renewal application for 2024-2025 Class
We
A
just
and Class
take a quick vote on that one, Alder Jackson.
Say that again?
Can we just take a quick vote on that one, just for the minutes?
Oh, I'm sorry. All in favor for the approval of the review of an application to amend the premise for Madison Marriott, 1313 John Q. Hammonds Drive by Cindy Bobbitt, Corporate Director. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you, Tyler, keeping me on my toes. Agenda number 12, renewal application for 2024-2025 Class A and Class B intoxicating liquor Class A and Class B fermented malt beverage Class C wine only and Class B winery licenses.
So this is everybody's annual permits. We usually throw this agenda item on there. I did talk with City Clerk Lori Burns a couple of days ago. She was still waiting on a couple of them that hadn't been in, but she was just requesting approval from you all, conditioned upon her satisfaction of everyone submitting their permits in good order.
Okay, so this is generally, because that's what I was going to ask, who is this for? Because I didn't see a name. So this is generally for everybody.
Yes, there are several of them. This is citywide, so everybody that we've already approved, that the city's already approved applications for, annually they need to resubmit those, that they get rescreened, pay their fees, so on and so forth. So there are numerous to be listed.
Yeah, and just for everyone's edification, so this is somewhat of a formality, because in order for us to not renew a license that has previously been issued, we actually need to commence proceedings to formally not renew, which the proceedings are basically identical or nearly identical to those required for revocation or suspension. So kind of shorthand is we're kind of obligated to renew everyone's license unless we can allege that they've violated ordinances or statutes, and in which case we have to provide them with a formal notice of an intention to consider non-renewal, provide a hearing, and so typically, it's always conceivable that a member of the council, LNOs, and so forth, might have some information that might lead to those proceedings, but typically staff, and particularly the police department, will usually bring those kind of issues to your attention. And actually, rarely will this agenda item be the first time you will have heard of problems occurring at a licensed premises. Usually, we kind of follow sort of a progressive discipline kind of a process, and oftentimes, if we're having some issues with a licensed premises, oftentimes we'll just put that on the agenda, have the police department, provide a little report, sometimes even have brought in one of the licensees to just hear about, hey, let them know that we're concerned about what's going on there, hear from them, hear what's going on, and so forth. So you'll usually, like I said, hear quite a bit about a licensed premises before you will ever ask to be considered to not renew it. So while it feels maybe a little unusual to not have the full list in front of you and get much to consider, really, until you have reason to not renew, we're kind of obligated, and this is really kind of a formality that just has to be had.
Thank you, Matt. You answered my
Yeah.
question. That was going to be my question. I make sure, not that I don't trust the city or the police department, but is everybody on this list approved? Like, we just a general list. We're going to throw it out there. Hey, everybody, you get a car. You get a car.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I can say even if there are bad actors here, I can tell you right now this committee does not have any basis right now to recommend non-renewal of anybody. But like I said, yeah, it's fortunately been quite some time since we've had to take any action against alcohol licenses. That wasn't always the case, but through this kind of process of kind of keeping an eye on people, talking to them, we usually have send underage people out to test, and when that doesn't go well, we've brought those people in and given them the finger wag and so forth. So we've tightened up the ship quite a bit it's been a while, like I said. So but you will know typically when well in advance of this whether there's any real cause for concern that would lead us to a pretty extraordinary action to not renew a license.
All righty then. Thank you, sir. Alders, I'm new chairing this board, and you guys are new, so let's just step out on faith and move forward. Can I get an approval to renew the application for the 2024-2025 Class A and Class B intoxicating liquor, Class A and Class B fermented malt beverage, Class C wine only, and Class B winery licenses? I need a motion.
Mrs. Madden, I'll make a motion to approve renewal applications for 2024-2025 Class A and Class B intoxicating liquor, Class A, Class B fermented malt beverage, Class C wine only, and Class B winery licenses.
Can I get a second?
Collis, second.
Thank you, Alders. Appreciate you. Item agenda number 13, ZYC Middleton LLC, DBA Fuji Sushi and Hibachi is requesting a Class B fermented malt beverage and Class B intoxicating liquor license located at 1610 Deming Way with Yao Ka Jing, 1138 Gracing Oaks Lane, Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, as the agent.
So because it's time for everybody to renew their permits and get in their paperwork, we have a bunch of agent changes, which is very customary for the May meeting. So I have each of those separated out in a different agenda item. The reason this one's a little bit different, they already have a license. They've just completely changed ownership. Okay. So the application is for another license, but it really is an existing license. The only change here is the owner of the business. And much like the rest of these agent changes coming up, it's just a name change of who's holding the license at the premise.
Alder Jackson, did we actually vote on item 12 or just motion and second?
We can back up, but I thought we did.
I wasn't sure, but we've held a number of votes, but I didn't know if we missed that one or not.
Well, going back to item number 12, thank you for keeping me on my toes. All in favor of renewal application for 2024-2025 Class A and Class B intoxicating liquor, Class A and Class B fermented malt beverage, Class C wine only, and Class B winery licenses. First by Madden, second by Kalish. Say aye.
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 Thank you. Item number 13 on the agenda. Can I get an approval or motion to approve ZYC Middleton LLC, DBA Fuji Sushi and Hibachi, requesting a Class B fermented malt beverage and Class B intoxicating liquor license located at 1610 Deming Way with Yao Kanjing, 1138 Gracing Oaks Lane, Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, as the agent.
I will make a motion to approve ZYC Middleton LLC, Fuji Sushi and Hibachi, Class B fermented malt beverage and Class B intoxicating liquor license located at 16 Deming Way with Yao Cheng Zhang, 38 Gracing Oaks Lane, Sun Prairie, Wisconsin as the agent.
Can I get a second?
Collis, second.
Thank you. Thank you, alders. All in favor of approving the license? Well, yeah, the license for DBA Fuji Sushi and Hibachi is requesting a Class B fermented malt beverage and Class B intoxicating liquor license located at 1610 Deming Way with Wild County Jang, 1138 Gracing Oaks Lane, Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. As the agent, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you, Tyler, for clearing that up, because I eat at Fuji, so I was like, okay, they've been selling beer. Like, what's going on here? Okay, thank you, Tyler. Agenda number 14, review of an application to amend the agent for the alcohol beverage license held by UW Provision Company, Inc., DBA Meat Market, 2315 Pleasant View Road, to appoint Shay Kausker, Verona, Wisconsin, as the agent. Any current concerns, any comments?
Matt, I guess I'll make a suggestion that may speed this up. I don't know if we have to address each of these individually or if you guys are comfortable addressing them all together. The police department has done background checks on each of these applications. We see no issues with any of these change of agents. I don't know if we can, like we do the permits, do this together or.
Sure, yeah. I mean, if it's okay with the committee, and yeah, if you don't have any concerns about any of these agents, you know, typically with the agents, just for our new committee members, you're looking for it's a background check. Have they had violations that sort of relate to the licensed activity, such that you'd be concerned with them being in charge of monitoring and controlling an alcohol license. And so what Tyler's saying is based on the background checks, there's nothing that's come up for any of these agents. So if somebody wants to move approval of amendment to the agents as set forth in agenda items 14 through 18, we could, if you so chose, to knock those all down in one fell swoop.
I am not in disagreement. My fellow council members look over the agenda so you can familiarize yourself with the businesses and the agents. And if we can move forward, I would appreciate a motion to approve every last one of them from 14 to 18 and a second.
So do we need the motion to state out loud each individual address and business, or can we make a motion to approve the review of the applications 14 through 18 on the agenda?
I would say, recommend approval of the application for amendment to agents as reflected in agenda items 14 through 18.
I so move.
Knew it was coming. Thank you, Alderman.
Collis, second.
Okay. Thank you. All in favor of approving the appointment of agents from agenda 14 to 18, say aye.
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 Aye. The ayes have it. Thank you, Tyler. Moving us along. Now on to ordinance on the agenda. An ordinance to amend and clean up the school parking restrictions and resident permit requirements.
So this is a bit of a follow-up. At the last council meeting, we had our kind of first run at this. If you recall, we had a whole series of areas around the high school where this school restricted parking was put in place many years ago. And along with it, a corresponding residential parking permit. And basically when this was all enacted, the idea of this was, what was really happening is you had a handful of neighbors who didn't like kids parking in front of their house because they would sometimes be by their cars, and sometimes trash would not make it into their cars or into garbage cans. And so this got put in place so to try to force all the students into the parking lot. There's then permit structures then to allow the residents to actually park, so they wouldn't be affected by these restrictions. Long story short is the permit system became very unwieldy to deal with, and then also with the Fireman's Park issue and getting rid of some of the parking there. This also created a significant problem with parking for the students over this last year. And so all of those things brought us to bringing in and limiting the scope of where the school restricted parking areas were going to apply. As we looked at the list, and Sean Stowski in particular looked at it, he realized there were a couple of places where, based on the patterns, we probably intended to eliminate, but just didn't in that first go around. So that's these 3 streets or 3 sections should have been eliminated in that ordinance. The council already considered and approved, but based on going back and reviewing, these should need to also be eliminated. The second part is then this repeal of 15.04 parent 12 also repeals that resident parking permit issue, because for most of this area now, given all the area that's already been eliminated by the previous ordinance the council's already approved, there really isn't much of a purpose for this residential permit exception any longer. Even in the places where you do have some parking restrictions, there is nearby street parking available. And, the clerk's office has not really been issuing many of these permits to begin with. So the clerk has asked for this restriction also, or this provision, this whole permit regime to be eliminated, because it just doesn't work very well. I will say also later on Thursday or Friday, Sean Stowski alerted me to 2 other little minor cleanup issues that I'd like to add to this ordinance. In the last go around, we noted what we would be restricting parking on Bristol Street, both sides from Franklin Avenue north to the high school property. And I mean, I think that's largely fine, except Franklin Avenue is the kind of the southern boundary of the school, and Bristol Street, along for much of the school boundary is actually, well, it's school. So it does create at least a theoretical ambiguity about whether there's any actual restriction happening, because at Franklin Street, you're already in one sense to the school property. What Sean proposed, well, he actually proposed just to put period after north, but I think it may make sense to, instead of say to the high school property, say for the remainder of its length. And then similarly, we have a restriction already in there from restricting Lee Street north side from Clark Street east to the high school property. But the problem is that Lee Street doesn't go to the high school property. It goes to the Fireman's Park. So again, this isn't critical, but as long as we're in here monkeying with this, that's another one where I think it just makes sense to, instead of say that to the high school property, just say for the remainder of its length. So if subject to any questions, if that's okay with the committee, I would look for an approval of this ordinance with those 2 additional corrections added.
Just a quick question. So it sounds like some of the folks, the residents that live close to the school, had some concerns, so this would address some of their concerns. Has the school been contacted about this? Do they have any comments or concerns about this?
Yeah, and Tyler, maybe expand. So this kind of arose out of meetings that I think Jeremy might have been involved in, along with Brian Gadow and the school district. This is kind of at the school district's request. And also going back and looking, it appears that really the genesis for this, and this was a long time ago when this was first enacted, I think it was a small group of very vocal owners. I don't know if those property owners still even live anywhere in the area where people were kind of complaining, but suffice it to say the entire regime kind of has broken down. I think there has been permits issued to students to be parking in the areas where they shouldn't have. The school did not really maintain this very well, and not to throw shade on them, it just was a really kind of complicated and cumbersome process to begin with. And so I think for all those reasons, I think the school and the city is more than happy to scale this way back.
Yep, I would agree completely. The current system as is broken. This did arise out of multiple discussions and in-person meetings with city staff, police department, and school staff, and these are the recommended changes that all of us agree on in our statement.
Thank you for that response, Tyler, because I was getting ready to call on you to see where you guys, I support you guys 100%, and I know you're out there traffic control and everything. I was wondering where you guys stood on this.
Yep, these are changes that we very much want. This clarifies everything. This makes it so that we can enforce issues, because right now we really can't. And we haven't been able to take much action around the school. We've kind of just let it be as is because we know parking is an issue. But this will clean that all that up. It cleans up the permitting issues that we're having. It also identifies a couple of those key areas on Bristol Street, Middleton Street, where we want to have room for egress for buses. That's your request from the school district. Also emergency response. If we do need to flood the area with emergency vehicles, we want to be able to get our equipment in. So this actually does help us keep a couple of those really key tight spots clear of traffic next to a couple of those houses, while minimizing the residential impact as much as possible.
So Matt, to move forward with this ordinance, how are we addressing this ordinance? An ordinance to amend and clean up the school parking restrictions and resident permit requirements. And you said we're adding something to it?
Yeah, I said I would also like to amend those two locations, the Bristol Street, both sides, Franklin Avenue North, and Lee Street, north side from Clark Street East, just to replace both of those go to the high school property. I'd like to amend both of those sections to say for the remainder of its length rather than to the high school property. So I think if everyone's okay with it, I think the motion would be to approve the ordinance as presented with the two additional corrections as mentioned by the city attorney.
Well, I need a motion on the floor to add an ordinance to amend and clean up the school parking restrictions and resident permit requirements as is, with the two amendments suggested by the city attorney. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as presented with the additional corrections mentioned by the city attorney.
Can I get a second?
Call a second.
All right, College, before we move on and vote, is there any concerns you had? I know you had spoke about it. Any concerns at all before we move forward with voting on this?
Good, thank you. Good?
All right, thank you, sir. All in favor of approving the change to the ordinance to amend and clean up the school parking restrictions and resident permit requirements, also adding the two changes as recommended by the city attorney, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. We are good. And on that note, we are adjourned. Can I get a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I will motion to adjourn.
Can I get a second?
Call a second.
Call a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 We did it, Tyler. Blind leading the blind. We made it.